21st, 2017. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Byrne.
I saw blue.
Mrs. Cerrucci. Here. Mr. Lapsevich.
Here.
Mr. Nola.
Here.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Here.
Mr. Ritter.
Here.
Mr. Stevenborg.
Here.
Mrs. Warning. Here. Mr. Williams.
Here. Is there any comments from residents on agenda items only tonight? None, see none? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous
moved.
meetings?
Second,
Moved by Mr. Ritter, second by Mr.
O'Donnell. O'Donnell, yes.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cerrucci. Aye. Mr. Lapsevich.
Aye.
Mr. Nola.
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenborg.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning. Aye. Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section B, bills, financial reports, and budget transfers. Mr. Schott.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Section B, resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approve sections B1 list of bills, B2 monthly financial statements, and B3 budget transfers as listed in Section B of the Tuesday, November 21st, 2017 regular board meeting.
So moved. Second. Moved by Mr. Nola, second by Mr. Stubenport. Questions or comments on Section B? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, Bonnie, please?
Mr. Lapsevich.
Aye.
Mr. Nola.
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenborg.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section C is items previously tabled. We have none. Section D, personnel agenda. Ms. Crump, please.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors accepts and approves the personnel agenda items 1 through 6 as listed in Section D for the regular board meeting of Tuesday, November 21st. We do have 2 resignations listed. We have several leaves of absence, transfers for the collective bargaining agreement. We do have listed under Section 4 employment that was not previously on the last agenda. These are individuals who we have interviewed in the meantime that we would like to get started as soon as possible. 3 are for paraprofessionals, 4 for paraprofessionals, 1 is for a school police officer. Under 5 supplemental contracts and 6 volunteers.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Nola, second by Mr. Stubenport. Questions or comments on Section D?
Am I? Oh, never mind. I see it down there. Okay.
Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Nola.
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenborg.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich.
Aye.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
carries. Section E, conferences and conventions. Dr. Chapin.
Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves and authorizes the following conferences and conventions as listed in Section E.
Have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. O'Donnell, second by Mr. Nola. Questions or comments on Section E? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. O'Donnell.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenborg.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich.
Aye.
Mr. Nola.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section F, administrative resolutions.
Item number 1, Dr. Rossi.
For final approval of the revised policy 246 for student wellness, Exhibit A.
So moved. Do you want them together or separate? Together. Together.
Together?
Item number 2,
Draw mine.
Dr. Shaky.
You have mine to the side.
A couple facility agreements, 3 for Atlantic Coast Baseball, 1 for the Gateway Band Boosters DCI show.
Questions or comments on that? Seeing none.
Student interns, Dr. Rossi.
We have several student interns for the fall 17 and spring of 2018 as listed.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, moving on.
Number 4, Mr. Schott.
Sure. Item number 4 is approve the required 3-year asbestos reinspection and management plan updates with AGX Inc. in the amount of $1,900 and a 2-hour asbestos awareness training in the amount of $650 for a grand total amount of $2,550 for these services as depicted in Exhibit B.
Questions, comments? Seeing none?
Item number 5, approve the district's agreement and payment of $2,395 to AMCA Systems LLC to purchase an ACA Tax Track Software 2017 license to assist the district with the required Affordable Care Act assignment of benefit status codes and safe harbor codes to all employees, and to e-file all required 1095-C forms with the Internal Revenue Service for 2017 calendar year, and as depicted in Exhibit C.
Questions, comments on number 5? Good, Paul.
Item number 6, approve the district's management's discussion and analysis, or MD&A, for the 2016-17 fiscal year as depicted in Exhibit D.
Comments number 6? Seeing none?
Item number 7, approve the Title I non-public school agreement with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Number 3 for required remedial reading and math instructional services in the amount of $26,956, and for required non-public Title I parent involvement services in the amount of $271 at the following schools during the 17-18 fiscal year, and is depicted in Exhibit E.
Questions, comments? Seeing none?
Item number 8, Dr. Rossi.
We have a dual enrollment with CCAC. It's a memorandum of agreement. Exhibit F.
Questions? Seeing none, moving on.
And item number 9, which was added after the study session, is the settlement agreement for special education. And the case number is listed.
So moved. Moved by Mr. Nola,
Second.
second by Mr. Steubenport. Any other questions or comments?
I just have a comment on number 8. For people that are unaware, the dual enrollment, I just want the public to be made aware. Gateway does a great job. Bill, when you were principal up there, and now under Pete and everyone else up there, of offering our students immense opportunity to get college credits prior to going to college. So this is one that you see here we've approved through Pitt, through Duquesne, through CMU, through a plethora of other schools and universities as well. So I just want to point out to the public that the high school does that. It's an excellent opportunity. I know I got 6 credits out of the way for a fraction of the cost of Duquesne's credit price.
We've had a number of students who have taken advantage of the dual enrollment credits and have entered college with a semester credits or more. So
So I know the guidance counselors are pushing, but any parents, if you have kids going into high school soon, make sure they're pushing for that as well. It'll save you some money in the long run. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Any other comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Steubenport.
Aye for all except for number 9.
Get a no. Mrs. Warning. Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci. Mr. Lapsevich. Mr. Nola.
Except for, I am a no on number 9.
And Mr. O'Donnell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section G, resolutions presented by board members. So we have a number this evening.
Mr. President, apparently my support has crumbled over the last 10 minutes, so I'm going to withdraw item number 2.
Okay?
I can speak to number 1. There's a little status on the taser donation from the sheriff's office. You just withdrew your motion.
I did, you're right. No, no.
Can I not go on with number 1, which is before yours?
Why don't you go on with number 1, which was before mine?
Do you guys want to take these one by one, or how do you want to do it?
I think she should take hers, which was number 1.
Mrs. Cerucci, number 1, please.
I'll take number 1 since it was my resolution.
I think it was.
All right, you good?
Yes.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I wanted to give you an update on the status of the taser donation through the sheriff's office. Apparently, their attorney has had some second thoughts because of a a lawsuit that was filed against the taser manufacturer, and they're concerned about liability if something would happen while they're in our use, that we would come back and sue them if there was a problem with the taser. So we have a couple options. We can forego trying to get the donation. We could have our attorney submit an agreement. It's basically a hold harmless agreement, and see if we provide that, if they'll then donate the tasers. The only concern that I would, solicit feedback from my fellow board members is that this has been now going on for about 9 months, and these tasers and batteries have been sitting now for 9 months, and according to our school police officers, they really need to be turned on and checked and used regularly. So because of the bureaucratic red tape, it's taking a little bit longer to actually receive the donation. So I would solicit input from my fellow board members.
I'll second the motion.
Can you read the motion for the public?
Yeah, the motion says approve the release of liability and any applicable hold harmless provisions necessary or required by Allegheny County to approve the donation of 18 Model X26 tasers previously approved but accepted by the board during the October 3rd, 2017 study session meeting. Be it further resolved, the district will assume the full liability for the district's police force's utilization of the donated tasers upon the official approved transfer of ownership through donation from Allegheny County to the district. Allegheny County must still vote to officially approve or make the donation of the 18 Model X26 tasers to the district during an upcoming scheduled meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
All right, for purposes of discussion, batteries, I've got a computer science background. Batteries can misbehave sometimes if they're overcharged. They can leak, they can cause damage. They need to be used regularly and charged in a proper manner. So the batteries themselves could be a problem. They could damage, something. The other thing is the actual use of the device itself. You're supposed to shoot a taser against someone's body. Well, let's say you hit them in the cheek or something, or bounce it off their ear and they lose their hearing. So I think all of those myriad of liability issues that could occur would already be covered under the normal operation of our police force, because they've already been well-trained in what to do at every level, from least resistance to most resistance. So I think, aren't we already covered with respect to liability, both from the technological perspective and from the use of the equipment perspective? And so there would be no reason why we shouldn't just go ahead and get them, right?
Well, I should add that you reminded me of something, that the lawsuit that they found never resulted in any payout to any party, and the manufacturer never had a recall on the product. And in fact, this model taser is still in use, and it's currently the same taser that Monroeville Police Force uses.
I think this is a good step, simply because I don't want to see, it's not budgeted for this year. So just so the public's made aware, we did budget for this last year to actually purchase 10 tasers, and then the sheriff's office actually approached us and stated they were actually replacing their tasers next year, they might be able to donate them. So I think if there's a way we could get them donated, I know Monroeville's looking at replacing theirs, the sheriff's office is, Pennsylvania State Police are looking at replacing theirs soon as well. This is just another option to try to get them donated. I think we should exhaust all options to get them donated prior to spending, even though I'm all for the police force, and I think they should have the tools of the trade. I also am cognizant of the fact that we need to look out for the taxpayer. So I think we should move forward with this just to see if this helps county council, allow them to donate, and if not, I would still recommend future boards look at
And last year,
exhausting all options.
just so everybody knows, we budgeted $9,000 last year. The police force has given me a quote for $5,000, which is the bare minimum that they would like, because it is something that they had asked for from the get-go, from the startup, and they're operating without any. So 5 of them would cost about $5,000.
So-
We're trying to get 18 donated from the sheriff's office. We budgeted last year $9,000.
Has the motion been tabled with council in Pittsburgh?
They didn't even bring it up to vote.
Okay.
And they weren't planning on it because of this new development.
Okay.
The-
Neil?
I mean, are we looking to purchase the same kind? Like, if you say you're
No.
purchasing them, would it be a different model?
The quote for the new purchase was a X26P, so it's a newer model.
But right now, the discussion is solely about whether or not we should send a letter, hold harmless agreement to county council solicitor in order to try to pay them for free.
What about, I'd like to hear from our financial person about, what do you think about,
Donation versus spending money?
well, no, in terms of
I can give you that answer.
him and Mr. Dice about any type of liability
Well, if
or
there's a problem with the taser,
insurance
do we
or
wanna get a
things
new
like that is
law?
what I want to hear with these
There's a
guys.
lot of factors to discuss here.
Go ahead.
I mean, obviously, from a pure financial standpoint, I mean, sure, a donation would be gladly accepted. In the current 17-18 budget, there are some funds in there for replacement cartridges. My understanding is they do have to be deployed at least once or twice a year as part of their training as well, that they have to actually shoot those. So there was a small component to the budget to be able to basically, to re-equip the tasers after a deployment has been made.
What about like any liability thing?
Well, I mean, in general, with our insurance we take out, we've indicated that we have a police force, they are armed, so that's already been taken into account in our current insurance, so.
So
This is
nothing.
obviously a less lethal,
So, yeah, so
means
it's like
that-
nothing. Like that's a wash, that's a nothing.
it should not be at all, there should be no
You're-
issue with
I
that.
agree,
In
I
agreement?
agree with what Paul just said. You know, I think if there was no problem with the tasers, I think the county would still want some sort of release from you, just cause.
Yes.
And that doesn't surprise me, so I think sending the release and indemnification takes a small step towards getting this grant.
Okay.
George?
I'm 100%, protecting our police and our children, but I brought this up about a month ago about mace. And I was reading up a couple articles, and they said there would be more malfunction with a taser than hitting somebody with a mace, and you could still do more damage with a taser on a younger person than you could do with mace. And that's where, if you're gonna bring somebody down, I'd rather bring him down knowing that he's not gonna be harmed, forever. And that's the only concern I have with tasers.
But it's not necessarily for just younger people, though.
Yes,
I mean, this
it's
is
for
for like
everybody.
football games
This
and,
is
Yeah, but
not-
you can use it
yes.
in classrooms. What are you gonna use?
I don't know that they actually were gonna
Shoot 'em.
use it in classrooms.
Well, they hope they never use it, but
No.
we're getting off
No.
track. We hired a police force and they determine what they need for their equipment. We try to stay away from doing that because they're the ones with 20-plus years law enforcement experience. And it's standard issue carry for every police officer in the state of Pennsylvania to carry a taser for a non-lethal option. And right now, our police officers have no non-lethal option.
But they
Somebody
also
comes
carry
into this-
mace too.
Well, we've already voted as a board to equip them with tasers. We've already voted to receive these very tasers. I think the prudent next step would be to send a letter to the county and try to see if we can continue getting them for free.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Do we have a roll call, Bonnie?
Mr. Stubenbort,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne. Mrs. Cerrucci,
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich,
Abstain. Abstain.
Mr. Nola,
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3. Is that you, Mr. O'Donnell?
It is. Number 3 is secure contracts for tree, shrub, flower, mulch, seeding, hillside maintenance. The Gateway Board of School Directors directs the administration to advertise for bids and/or acquire quotes as appropriate for the following items according to a plan prepared by Mary Beth Cerrucci and Bob Brown. And then we identified those items. This is a recommendation of the Buildings and Grounds Committee. We'd like to get these numbers and get this piece nailed down as we go into the budget process.
I make a motion to accept 3 through 7 if you want to go through all, Steve.
I'd be,
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Second.
Can I, hey, Steve?
Questions or comments?
Yeah, question.
Who was the
Steve,
second?
come here.
Yes.
Okay.
Richard.
Hello.
All right, George.
Steve, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me and Mr. Brown's gonna be going out in the
Yes.
evening next week.
Yes.
When the lights, dark. And we're going to see where the buildings need lighting and all that.
Right.
And he's been doing one heck of a job.
He has. And that's fine. And I agree with you, and I'm fine with that, too. So we have a motion and a second, is that right? Okay.
Just for the public, do you want to read through 4 through?
Oh, sure, right. The retro commissioning, Gateway Board of School Directors directs the administration to advertise for bids or acquire quotes as appropriate for either annual or biannual retro commissioning services for all relevant equipment. All of these heater air conditioners, back here, they're located throughout the school district, should be cleaned and serviced annually or every other year, depending upon the recommendation of the firm that we use to do that this year. And that's many, many, many pieces of equipment, anything with a motor in it. Okay, signage, Gateway School Board,
Right?
pardon me?
You okay?
I'm okay. No.
That year's catching up to you.
No, I feel the support. It's my birthday, and they're all rallying to my support.
Sugar
Which is
high
why
from
this is
icing.
happening. Yeah.
Speaking.
No, I'm
Put it all
okay.
with your shirt.
There are a lot of,
You're older.
Put it all with
there
your
are,
shirt.
I am.
And wiser.
And why is it? Yes, yesterday. Thank you, missed it. The Gateway Board of School Directors authorizes the Maintenance Department to remove all old signage throughout the district, with the exception of signs either required by law or circumstance. Item number 5, the Gateway Board of School Directors directs the administration to advertise for bids or acquire quotes as appropriate to fence in district dumpsters. Item number 7 is what?
She's messing.
The other one was 6.
People should not be allowed to do this to board members who are going to survive this next 2 years. Okay, the Gateway Board of School Directors directs the administration to advertise for bids or acquire quotes as appropriate to replace or install exterior lighting as required by the lighting plan prepared by Buildings and Grounds Committee, which is George and Val, but George is going out with Bob Brown. They'll identify the dark spots, and they'll recommend the number and type of lighting.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
It's not about this? Yes. It's similar to the paving thing that we did. Was there the final? I don't know if I saw the final.
11-8.
Okay.
Mr. O'Donnell,
Yes.
do we have in our budget, when me and Mr. Brown go out, I might need a miner's lantern.
I think we do. I believe we have 2, and Bob usually doesn't need one, so you can be accompanied by someone.
Okay. Do you have any, Mr. Brown?
I'm sure we can accommodate.
Thank you.
Okay.
Steve, I have a question. Items 3 through 7, are any of those in this year's budget, or are each one of these items for next year's budget?
3 through 7. I have to go back and look. That's all right. I can get there.
It's just the,
It's okay. These are all in preparation for the coming year's budget.
even the exterior lighting?
Well, the exterior lighting, I think, depends upon what Bob and George come back with. I mean, if they come back with 15 lights and the board wants to go forward with that, to continue to, so he
there any
shine a
money
light.
left in your budget?
Oh, my God, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars
Just
left.
as a
in
comment
the
to-
original $3.819 million.
Yeah, just as a comment to the public too, this is just requesting bids. This is not actually approving to pay for money or anything. This is
Correct.
just telling the administration, go out, receive
Yeah.
bids, and then it would be voted on whether it be a future budget or this year's budget.
Any other questions or comments? We have a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne,
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci,
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich,
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell,
Aye.
Mr. Nola,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Yeah,
Mr.
that was
Stubenborg.
done, that wasn't the right way. N becomes before O.
Motion
I just want to
carries.
see if you guys were paying
Okay, well, we were
attention.
paying attention.
I have one more board agenda item here. I make a motion to direct the administration to advertise for RFPs for an architect of record, as ours has expired in June of 2016. So similar to the others, this wouldn't be hiring a firm, this would be simply going out to the public, asking for RFP, as we did back in 2014, as we did previously in 2012, and again in 2010, to get an architect of record, to see what is out there. I think it's also a good opportunity for incoming board members to look at all the architects and make a selection.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments?
I think procedurally, not a big issue, but you have to have a supermajority to make this amendment, or to advance this initiative. I don't think you need a supermajority to pass it. Am I not correct?
Right.
So you need 6 votes to move that motion.
Okay, I think everyone would be open to transparency, but we can vote on it.
Questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Well, I have a question, I have a comment.
Comment?
We already have an architect on board who has a credit, I think in the amount, Paul, of 20 grand or something like that.
12,700.
12,000. And we just need to keep in mind that we'd like to draw that credit down, and that firm's performance has been fine. And as we go forward on a couple of small items, I'd like to draw that down and use it. It would be wasteful not to. Otherwise, I don't care if we go out for other.
Well, maybe we should probably do that just to
Sure.
get the, even if it's them, maybe.
It could be, yeah.
Right, get them on record so that they're.
Yeah.
And look at why there was a
People would
20,000
go
on the credit to begin with.
It's up to the next board.
Any other questions or comments? Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mrs. Byrne?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Mr. Nola?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mr. Stubenbort?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah.
Any other resolutions by board members?
And he needs now to make this motion to pass it.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Stewart, second by.
So this only needs
Mr.
five?
O'Donnell.
Only needs 5 votes.
Why does it not need 6?
Pardon?
Why does it need 6?
Because you only need
We have a roll call, Bonnie?
Mrs. Byrne?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Mr. Nola?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mr. Stubenbort?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye. Go to administrative and board reports. Dr. Jakey,
Nothing at this time.
Dr. Rossi,
Nothing further.
Mr. Schott,
Nothing further, thank you.
Ms. Crum.
We wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. You all are gonna take care of the gateway stuff. I just did the Thanksgiving.
Anything else?
Nothing else at this
No,
time.
just a happy Thanksgiving.
Mr. Dunstan.
So, excuse me.
First off, a happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy the holiday. Congratulations to our football team on winning the WPIAL 5A title. Also to the band and the student section who came out in force to root the Gators on to victory. And the cheerleaders. And the cheerleaders as well, absolutely. This Saturday, Gateway is playing at Altoona Area High School versus Hollidaysburg in the state quarterfinals. So I do want to get that message out there. Information is on our webpage concerning that game as well. To our outgoing board members, Mrs. Byrne, Mr. Stubenbort, and Mr. Nola, I can't thank you enough for your dedication, loyalty, and commitment to the Gateway School District. And to me personally in this administration, and giving us the confidence to move forward and to do the things that we've been able to do academically over the last 2 years. And you will be missed. I've learned a lot from each and every one of you with the way you work cooperatively with the administration, not only at central office, but our building principals, our teaching staff, and especially our students. And like I said, you will be missed. I thank you for everything that you've done. And always know that you're welcome at any board meeting. You could tune in anytime. And as always, please keep in contact. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Dr. Short.
Thank you.
Mr. Ritter.
A couple things. I agreed to be part of the PSBA's, that's the Pennsylvania School Board Association's Commonwealth Education Blueprint Study Group. So they asked for a couple school directors to go out to Mechanicsburg for 2 days later on this month, and I'm going to go out. And they asked for areas of interest, and I just tossed a couple of them out there. I'm interested in school health. That means school health information technology and school health records, et cetera. Standards-based measurement of school board member performance, online education, because of my technology background, and governance and leadership. So I'll get to go out there and bang heads with others out there and try to come up with better procedures for which all schools in Pennsylvania will be managed. Number two, I'd like to thank personally Joe Miller from PNC, Vice President there, who invited the school board members out to watch that Gateway game. What a terrific game, and thank you very kindly, Joe. Let's do that again next year. And the last is improvements have been made throughout the school district. We put a little video up there on the front page of the website, so folks in the audience, folks at home, go ahead and take a good look at that. And finally, Chad, Neil, Steph, it's been real. Thank you. It's a service, and thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Barr?
I would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and also say thank you to all the residents of Monroeville and Pitcairn. I greatly appreciated this opportunity to serve on the board. I learned a lot. I did the best that I could, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity to do so. Also, I have the utmost confidence in Dr. Short and administration and the incoming board. I know that Gateway School District will continue to excel academically, and it really is a great school district for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Donnell?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Rucci?
Well, wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. I want to also thank my colleagues, Chad, Neil, and Stephanie. Definitely going to miss you. It is a thankless job, because there's always somebody mad at you no matter what decision you make. So these three have always voted their hearts and their conscience, and I appreciate that, and I will definitely miss working with you. Regarding the school police officer, it is a female. I just wanted to note that. We finally have a female officer on staff again, which is to like to welcome her aboard, and good luck Gateway this Saturday.
Mr. Lapsovich?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I'd like to give my best wishes to Chad, Neil, and Stephanie. It was an honor to work with you. Even though we agreed maybe 90% of the time, but the other 10% we overlooked. But I learned a lot off you, and I was proud to be with his team. And I hope the next team, which I have a lot of faith in, will do as good a job and maybe better. Also, I like to, me, Val, and Scotty are on the athletic committee. I want to say how our boys, cheerleaders, football players, they weren't only athletes, they were professional, and they had great manners anywhere they went. They made Gateway proud. And I also wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Mr. Nola?
All right, I'll be brief. I think for the last time, I'm going to recognize our beautiful artwork. You guys should come and look at this stuff all the time, actually. Like, I know I say it, and I don't know how much that they show on the TV or not, but the detail in some of these is incredible. It is really incredible. And I know I just say it, and I think you guys just think, hey, whatever, but because I sit over here, I look at this stuff all the time. When I come in, I stand up, and I look at every one. So
Elementary artwork.
I know,
Phenomenal.
it's phenomenal. And so please take a look at it, and when I'm not here, you guys can look at it again and see. So I just want to say thanks and good luck to everybody. I think hopefully we left this place in a better spot than when we got here, and I'm sure it's only going to get better and better. So
Thank you.
I look forward to cheering all you guys on.
Thank you, Neil. Mr. Stubenport?
All right, I have a long list, but I'll try to keep it short here. First, I just want to send everyone's thoughts and prayers over to the New Kensington Police Department and Brian Shaw's family. One of my classmates who I graduated actually works over at New Kensington. So for Jim, all of your officers, you're in our thoughts and our prayers. So I just wanted to send that out. The football team, congratulations. It's been a long time coming. I remember going down there 3 times and not seeing us win it, so it was pretty cool to see them actually lift the trophy this past weekend. So congratulations to the football team, the cheerleaders, the band. It's a long drive ahead of you guys on Saturday, but I'm sure the community will come out and support all the way out in Altoona as well. Before I get into thanking everyone, I'm not sure if this will come up in the future or not, but I did want to toss it out there anyways. First of all, there are some rumors that academic policy was not being followed and ineligibility was not being followed, and I just want to say that everything was followed, and I want to thank administration and everyone involved for making sure that was the case. So I want that to be out there. I also know that we've thrown out the idea of switching to a percentage policy, so 70% percentage as opposed to going off of a GPA. I just want to give a real quick example as to why I personally would be opposed to that, and why that does not really instill academic excellence that we're trying to portray here at Gateway. Being an alumni myself, I take that diploma pretty seriously. So if a student has a tag math class that they get 100% in, so they get an A in tag math, they could then get an F in 5 other classes, so fail every other academic class, and they would still have a 71% average. So they would still be able to play with 5 Fs and 1 A in the double period tag math. So I just want people to consider that, think that over, mull that over. If that ever comes up in the future, we have a very good process in place now, and I think it's been proven to work. So I just wanted to at least voice my concerns on that. I want to wish the best of luck to the oncoming board members, Jesse Kalkstein, Rick McIntyre, Brian Gottman. I've gotten to know you guys. I've known Jesse for quite a while now. I've gotten to know the other 2 pretty well over the last few months. They're going to do great. I think, knowing them, they're going to continue to strive to push Gateway towards further academic excellence. Hopefully we're not in the top 10, but in the top 5 in the coming years here in Allegheny County. So congratulations again on your victories, and best of luck up here. Don't expect too many thank yous, but I'll shoot you an email from time to time. Thank you to everyone, former superintendents, to Dr. Short, to the entire administration, to all the teachers, the aides, the students, and all school board members, both sitting up here and previously. This has been quite the experience. It's been, I think, better than going out and getting an MBA. No offense, Neil. But I think the experience learned here over the past 4 years has been tremendous, and problem solving. I know it looks like we fight up here on certain issues, and I am very, very thankful that at the end of the day, when the day's over, anyone can pick up the phone, talk to each other, go out, have a drink, grab lunch, and really work towards what we personally believe is best for the students and best for the district. So I do want to thank everyone for providing that atmosphere here as well. The last thing, I don't want to end on a negative note, but the last thing with the Minerva Council voting down the rezoning, I hope they will reconsider that. For those of you not familiar, the board wanted to have all options available for tax holders to see if we were to ever look at a consolidation plan, what options would actually be on the table. Unfortunately, Minerva voted that down. They've had several previous instances of doing that and then being overruled later on, so I'm hoping that is the case again. Because again, this isn't saying anyone's closing the school. There's no school that's going to be closed within the next 2 years. There's a huge process that you have to go through. This is simply looking at what cards we even have in the deck to see what options future board members will have. So with all of that, again, thank you very much, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Chad. Val?
Yes, first off, Steph, Chad, and Neil, wish you the best of luck. It's been an experience. As many have seen here and on TV, we didn't always get along, but as Mr. Dice always said, we could go out after and everybody's friends. So Mr. Short says you can't write a book. Can't. You can write a book with everything that's happened. Dr. Short, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes, you got me. I'm still learning. Another note. Dr. Short and I were sitting in the box on Saturday, and nobody else was there, and we watched as our students walked in, and it was a whiteout. And being down there 3 years, 3 different times with my boys when they played, I felt so much pride in watching those kids, watching the band come in, watching the cheerleaders. It was just it was something you had to experience. We walked away 3 times when my children played without a trophy. And this year, they really put their hearts into everything. We went out afterwards with some of the players, and just to see those boys cry. I mean, you're watching seniors cry that they accomplished something. A lot of them really struggled to get where they were. And it took a lot of work for some of those. And it was very dear to my heart with that. So congratulations to the football players, the coaches. Like I said, cheerleaders, band, student section. They will be selling tickets tomorrow at lunchtime. Pre-game tickets are $6 and $3 if you get it before going to the game, and they will also be selling them on Friday in the athletic office if anybody wants to go. Special thank you to our paraprofessionals. I get bombarded with, you're always thanking teachers and you forget about us. The paraprofessionals really do an awesome job. I was fortunately to be one of those, and I know what they deal with day in and day out. So to you guys, we'd be lost without you. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed, we have a young man that comes up here that counts down before the board meeting starts, Daniel Lee. He was recently accepted into the University of Pitt, and I want to congratulate him. It shows you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And I asked him this evening what he planned on doing. He's planning on going to computer science. So I wish him, his family, the best of luck. And to everyone, have a happy Thanksgiving. And with that,
Thank you.
I have one thing for you.
Go ahead, Chad.
I also did just want to say thank you to Tom Wilson for entertaining the motion at the last meeting, and also to Dr. Nick Resock for voting for the rezoning as the Planning Commission had recommended. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
I too would like to congratulate the football team, the band, the coaches, their staff, the players, cheerleaders, and our students. I went down 4 times, and this was the 5th, and it was a good time. And hats off to Penn Trafford, too. They have one heck of a football team over there, and they really gave us a game and made a game of it, so hats off to John Wayne and everybody over at PT. And also to Stephanie, Neil, and Chad, you guys did a great job. You're leaving the school well. It's, we have money in the bank, you could say. We're in good shape. Other schools look at us and wish they had what we had. So yes, you guys have done a great job, left us in a great place. And for the incoming new school board members, I'm sure you guys will pick up where they left off and take us even further down the road. And hopefully, with the help of the administration, everybody, our grades increase. And, Gateway's a great place to be right now. It's a great school, and, I say it all the time, and I'm proud to wear it. Gateway School District, when I went here, we had a little chip on our shoulder, not because we thought we were better than anybody else. We were proud. We were proud of Gateway School District. And we wanted to be the school that other schools emulate, and that's what we still strive to be. We want to be the school that other schools emulate, just like they did with our basketball court this year. Mr. Short installed a new basketball court, and already schools are looking at it and trying to take the design. So hats off to that. And I'd also like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And then I'd like to move to comments from
Second.
a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.